Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Setre. I hope you're doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering a question for one of my subscribers who wanted to know if it's advisable to overstay your visa in the UK. So there are several types of visas that people come to the UK with. One is a visitor's visa or work visa. So if you want to know more about this topic, remember to watch the video to the end. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Setre. I'm a nurse in the UK and I give tips and advice to overseas nurses who are working in the UK or are planning to relocate and work in the UK as nurses. And I give tips and advice to anyone really who is new to the country and not too sure about certain things. I don't know it all. What I know, I'll tell you I know. What I don't know, I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't know. I will research, or I'll give you a link so you can research it yourself. So if this is the first time you've come across my channel, you're very welcome. Remember to like, subscribe and share. So in today's video, I've already mentioned in the introduction, someone has asked me to do a video about whether it is advisable to overstay your visa in the UK. Just a disclaimer, I do not work for immigration. I do not work for the Home Office. So I've only just looked on the internet for this information. You can do the same yourself. So let's go straight into this video. So my answer to that question is that it is not advisable to overstay your visa in the UK. There are several types of visa. It could be a work visa you've traveled on, a short-term visa, it could be a long-term visa. You just have to make sure you follow the rules as to what you're advised to do or what is within the requirement of the particular visa you have traveled with. Just to tell you straight away, it is a criminal offence to overstay in the UK or to overstay your visa. You could actually get deported if you don't leave voluntarily within 30 days of your visa's expiry or expiring. If you leave after the 30 days, you could actually be banned from re-entering the UK for between 1 to 10 years, and I don't think you want that. What happens if you overstay in the UK is the fact that can lead to tarnishing your immigration record, and it affects your future applications, not only to the UK but to other countries, for example the USA. If most other countries, if you've been refused or you've overstayed in one country, you would find it difficult to get a visa to go to another country. So I think it's best, if you want to be traveling in the future and pursuing other interests, then it's better not to overstay in the UK. You could actually be imprisoned if you get caught. Previously, the imprisonment is up to 6 months, but now it has actually, they did a new law recently, and you can actually be imprisoned for up to 4 years. I don't think you want to come and stay in a UK prison up to 4 years. You cannot work if you've traveled on the visitor's visa or any other visa which is expired. You cannot work, you cannot get accommodation, because now if you're renting a place, most landlords have become more or less like immigration officers. It is a requirement for them to check your permission to live in the UK. If you overstay, you can still use the emergency services such as the police, ambulance or fire in case wherever you're living there's a problem. You can use emergency services. If you're pregnant, you can actually have pregnant care or antenatal care for your pregnancy, but you just have to bear in mind certain healthcare services or most healthcare services you may be or you will be charged and it's quite expensive. So if you cannot afford it, then what's the point? If you find a job through some dodgy means, or in Ghana we say kululu means, or if somebody helps you to find a job, that's fine, but you have to make sure, I wouldn't say that is fine, because you're breaking the law and you can't be caught, you can't be imprisoned, you can't be deported. Another issue with that is the fact that if you're working and someone has helped you to get a job, you understand, or you know what I'm talking about, it means that person becomes your boss. Your salary would be going into that person's account. You have to always remember you are that person. You know, it is difficult, and you always, if you're not careful and you have an issue with that person, you're constantly under threat. They could be threatening, I'll report you. At the same time, they can't have control over your money, because if your money is going into their account, what if they're using your money, or they start charging you some percentage of your own money that you have worked so hard for? So, you know, if you overstay and you need to go back home for an emergency, you know that when you go back home, you are not able to come back. You'll be wondering whether Home Office in the UK or immigration would know. The Home Office would know whether you have left the UK. Yes, they do have an exit, I think they call it an exit form or questionnaire. So airlines are required to provide Home Office the list or names of people who are leaving the country. So they are able to trace and know when you have left the country. So don't think that you will not get found out or whenever you are leaving. Also, you should be aware that if you have come and you have a very good reason why you need to stay on for a bit, instead of overstaying, you can actually apply to extend your visa, but you have to do that before your visa expires. If you are able to extend or apply to extend your visa before expiration, then you would be legal to stay until a decision is made on your visa. So a group of people who may be able to apply to extend their visa include people who, if you have permission to live in the UK or to enter into the UK for less than 6 months. So let's say you've had a 3 months visa, but you need to stay up to 6 months. You can do that. You can extend your stay up to a total of 6 months. You can only apply to extend and stay in the UK for longer than 6 months if you are a patient receiving medical treatment. So let's say you came to the UK for medical treatment, or you are here for something else, you become unwell and you are admitted to hospital, you are not able to leave. Why not? You should be able to apply to extend your visa instead of overstaying. You don't want that in your visa or on your passport. So for those who have come into the UK for, and they are having a medical treatment, the treatment is not complete and they need to do more treatment, so far as you've already paid for that treatment and you still meet the requirement for that, then you should be able to apply to extend your visa, because that is acceptable, especially if you have the money to pay for the rest of your treatment and the rest of your stay. If you're a graduate taking the Professional and Linguistic Assessment Board exam, so let's say PLAB, though that is for doctors, or if you're doing a clinical attachment as well, you should be able to apply to extend if you haven't been able to complete your exams, or you've not been able to pass and you have to rewrite and you have planned to do that. And I think if you're coming to do your OSCE as a nurse as well, you should be able to apply to extend it. You must apply to extend your stay, and if you're applying, you're going to be paying, the application fee is about £1,000. That's a lot of money. You need to apply before your current visa you are on expires, as I said in the beginning. If you need to extend because of medical treatment, I said already, you need to be able to provide document, a letter from the doctors or your consultant to say, yes, this is why. So you need supporting evidence. If you're applying to extend because you have, not passed your PLAB and you need to extend, or you've rebooked or anything like that, you can do the same as well. So you need to show evidence that you have booked a new exam or a new test. And if you're applying for clinical attachment or dental observation post, after you have passed your PLAB, you can apply to stay to do an unpaid clinical attachment or for a dental observation post. And actually with that, you can stay up to about 18 months. So basically, that is my answer. It is illegal to overstay. If you really want to come back to the UK or go to other countries and explore whatever you want to do, it is advisable when it comes to the end of your visa, just go home. So far as you have got a visa from the UK in your passport and you were legal, you lived within what you're supposed to do, it is easier for you to apply and come back. Or if you're applying to go somewhere else, it is easier to do that rather than tarnish your passport or your immigration records or your travel records. So far as you've overstayed, it affects a lot of things and you don't want that. I know, certain things happen. People get here and they feel, what, it's much better here than where I came from and I will stay. Yes, there are people, I'm sure, living like that, and the people who still do that. If you're not caught, that's fine. But if you get caught, then it's a problem. So it's up to you. It's best to do the right thing rather than, but everybody have their own, the choice of to make whatever decision they want to make for their lives and for their future. But for me, I would always advise the best thing is when it comes to the end of your visa, just go as required, and then you can always apply and come back, and it's easier that way rather than staying in and you'll be struggling, you're having to depend on people for things, and it's not easy, it's not the best. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day. I will see you soon and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.